The gold locket felt heavier than it should. 19 years, and Sangwoo Huang still carried it everywhere. His fingers traced the delicate engraving while Seoul's skyline glittered below his penthouse office, 43 floors up, and he could finally breathe. But the air felt empty without her. His phone buzzed. The AI program had found another match. Facial recognition, age progression software, everything he'd built into his company's technology. He'd scanned 4.7 million faces across social media, public databases, everything legal. Still nothing. Brenda Rowan. That name was burned into his memory. But 19 years changed people. Maybe she'd married, changed her name. Maybe she'd forgotten the skinny 8-year-old Korean boy she'd saved in that alley. Sangwoo closed his eyes, and the memory pulled him under. This is a romantic love story of Sangwoo and Brenda, and how one promise would change their life course forever. The question is, does he ever get to fill that empty void? Does he ever find the girl that gave him that locket? Is this an happily ever after? Or is this story going to break your fragile heart? Well, stick with us, because this story is thrilling, worth the watch, and worth the wait. Ensure to smash that subscribe button, because we post interesting Afro-Korean story like this daily. Hit the notification button so you never miss incredible stories like this. Like this video, and tell us in the comment section, will he find her? And will he fulfill his promise? Well, let's get back to how it all started. Seoul, 2003. Winter hit hard that year. He was 8 years old, working for Mr. Park, a street vendor who sold hotteok and roasted chestnuts near Itaewon. The arrangement was simple. Sangwoo helped set up the cart at 5 a.m., worked until 10 p.m., and received 3 meals plus permission to sleep in the storage room behind the shop. No pay, just survival. The orphanage had kicked him out 6 months earlier. Too many kids, not enough beds. They'd given him Mr. Park's information and a pat on the head. At 8 years old, Sangwoo learned that the world didn't owe him anything. That December evening, he'd been counting coins in the alley behind Seoul American Elementary School, the international school where American military kids studied. Sangwoo had collected 1,201 from helping customers. Mr. Park let him keep small tips. He was calculating. A single kimbap roll cost 1,501. He was 301 short. His stomach had been empty for 2 days. Mr. Park had been generous with meals at first, but business was slow. Winter always hurt sales. The last 3 days, he'd only gotten dinner. Small portions. Sangwoo sat against the cold brick wall, counting and recounting the coins, willing them to multiply. They didn't. That's when he heard footsteps. He looked up. A girl stood at the alley entrance. Black, maybe 9 or 10 years old, wearing a puffy pink jacket and a school backpack. Her hair was in 2 puffs tied with ribbons. She stared at him with wide, concerned eyes. Sangwoo tried to stand, to run. Street kids got chased away from school areas, but his legs wouldn't cooperate. 2 days without food had drained him. The girl didn't yell for security. She walked closer. "Are you okay?" she asked in English. Sangwoo knew some English. Mr. Park made him learn basic phrases for American customers, but speaking took energy he didn't have. "Do you need help?" She knelt down, and Sangwoo saw her face clearly. She had the kindest eyes he'd ever seen. Warm, genuine. Nobody looked at street kids like that. His vision blurred. The world tilted. When Sangwoo woke up, he was still in the alley, but his head was resting on something soft. The girl's backpack. She'd taken off her jacket and draped it over him. She sat beside him, watching him with those concerned eyes. "You fainted," she said slowly, gesturing. "Hungry?" Sangwoo's pride wanted him to say no, but his stomach betrayed him with a loud growl. The girl smiled sadly. She opened a small lunchbox. Inside was half a sandwich, an apple, and a juice box. "I ate lunch already," she said, pushing it toward him. "This is extra. Please." It wasn't extra. Sangwoo could tell from the careful way she'd saved it. This was probably her snack or tomorrow's breakfast, but he was too hungry to refuse. He ate slowly, trying not to cry. The sandwich was peanut butter and jelly, sweet. The apple was crisp. The juice box was heaven. The girl watched him eat with a satisfied expression. "What's your name?" she asked. "Sang-woo," he managed between bites. "I'm Brenda. Brenda Rowan." She pointed to herself, then to him. "You live here? In alley?" He shook his head. "I work for Mr. Park. Hot cart." He gestured vaguely toward the main street. "You're just a kid. Kids shouldn't work." Sang-woo didn't know how to explain that kids like him didn't have choices, so he just finished eating. Brenda checked a small watch on her wrist. "Oh no, I gotta go. My dad's gonna be so mad." She stood up quickly, grabbed her backpack. Then she paused. Can you be here tomorrow? Same time?" Sang-woo looked confused. "I want to bring you more food, if you're here. Around 4 p.m.? His heart did something strange, squeezed and expanded at the same time. "Why?" Brenda smiled. "Because you're hungry, and I have food. That's reason enough." She ran off before he could respond. Sang-woo sat in that alley, holding the empty juice box, wondering if he'd imagined the whole thing. But the next day at 4 p.m., Brenda came back. This time, she brought a full meal. Rice, bulgogi, kimchi, all in small containers. "My dad's stationed here with the military," she explained while he ate. "We live in the housing complex 2 blocks away. The cafeteria always gives us too much food, so nobody will notice if some goes missing." Sang-woo ate slowly, savoring every bite. "You like it?" He nodded vigorously. Brenda beamed. "Good. I'll come back tomorrow." And she did. Every single day at 4 p.m., Brenda appeared in that alley with food. Sometimes American food. Hamburgers, hot dogs, pizza slices. Sometimes Korean food from the base cafeteria. Always enough to fill his empty stomach. But she didn't just bring food. She brought conversation. Week 1, they barely spoke. Sang-woo's English was rough. Brenda's Korean was non-existent. But by week 2, she started teaching him. "This is apple," she'd say, holding up the fruit. "Say it. Apple. Apple." "Close enough," she'd laugh, and Sang-woo found himself smiling. He couldn't remember the last time he'd smiled. By week 3, Brenda brought a small English workbook. "My teacher gave me an extra one. We can study together." They sat in that alley, Brenda teaching him words, phrases, grammar. Sang-woo absorbed everything like a sponge. Learning gave him hope. Maybe if he spoke English well, he could get a better job someday. Week 4, Sang-woo asked, "Why you help me?" Brenda thought about it. "My mama died 2 years ago. Cancer. Before she died, she told me, 'Baby girl, you got a gift. You see people others don't see. Use that gift. Help people.'" She pulled out a small gold locket from under her shirt. This was hers. "I wear it every day to remember. I'm sorry about your mama." "Thanks. That's why I noticed you, Sang-woo. You were invisible to everyone else. But I saw you." Something shifted in Sang-woo's chest. He'd spent his whole life invisible. Orphanages, streets, school grounds. He was just another poor kid nobody wanted. But Brenda saw him. Really saw him. "You special person," he said in broken English. Brenda grinned. "You're special too. You're smart, hardworking, and you're gonna do great things someday. I know it." Week 6. Things got complicated. Brenda showed up with a bruise on her arm. Sang-woo noticed immediately. "What happened?" She looked away. "My dad found out I've been sneaking food. He got really mad. Said I'm wasting resources, lying to him, breaking rules. I'm sorry. You should stop. I don't want you hurt." "No way." Brenda's voice was fierce. "I told him I was helping a friend. He said, 'I need to stop being naive.' But I don't care. I'm still coming." "Brenda, you matter more than his rules," Sang-woo. His eyes burned with tears he refused to shed. The next week, Brenda came limping. "He grounded me. I snuck out through my bedroom window." She laughed, but Sang-woo could see it hurt. "Please, You get in trouble because of me. Listen. Brenda sat down, looked him straight in the eyes. My dad's strict because he's military. He thinks following orders is everything. But my mama taught me different. She taught me that people are more important than rules. You're my friend, Sangwoo. Friends don't abandon each other. That word, friend. Sangwoo had never had one before. By month 3, their routine was sacred. 4 p.m. every day, unless Brenda's father had her on lockdown. Even then, she'd find ways to sneak food to him. She'd leave containers hidden behind a dumpster with notes in simple English. Eat this. Stay strong. See you tomorrow. B. Sangwoo kept every single note. Month 4, Brenda started bringing blankets as winter deepened. You can't sleep in that storage room without warmth. Take this. Where you get it? My closet. I've got 3. You need one more than me. She also brought books, English storybooks, Korean textbooks, anything she could find. You're too smart to just work at a food cart forever. Read these. Learn. Promise me you'll study. Sangwoo promised. At night, in Mr. Park's storage room, he'd read by flashlight, sounding out words, memorizing grammar patterns, dreaming of a future where he wasn't invisible. Month 5, Brenda brought devastating news. She was crying when she arrived at the alley. What's wrong? Sangwoo asked immediately. My dad got new orders. We're transferring back to California in 3 months. Sangwoo's world stopped. 3 months? I tried to convince him to let me stay, but military kids don't get choices. We go where our parents go. They sat in silence. The alley suddenly felt colder. I don't want to leave you, Brenda whispered. I don't want you go either. They cried together that day, 2 kids who'd found something rare in each other, facing separation. But Brenda wiped her tears and said, Then we make these 3 months count. I'll teach you as much English as I can. I'll bring every book I have. And when I leave, you're gonna keep studying, keep working hard, keep being amazing. Why you believe in me so much? Because I see who you really are, Sangwoo. You're gonna be somebody important someday. I know it in my bones. Month 6, 7, 8 flew by. Brenda brought an English dictionary. This was my mama's. I want you to have it. I can't take this. Yes, you can. You'll need it more than me. She taught him everything. Grammar, vocabulary, American culture, anything that might help him. Sangwoo worked harder than ever at Mr. Park's cart. Saved every single one he could. He had a plan forming. If he could save enough, maybe he could go to Hagwon, study English properly, get into a good school, build a life. But he needed Brenda's help to build the foundation. One evening, Brenda didn't come at 4 p.m. Sangwoo waited until 7 p.m. Nothing. He was terrified something had happened. At 8 p.m., she finally appeared, running, out of breath. I'm sorry. My dad caught me sneaking out. He locked my door. I had to wait until he fell asleep and climbed out the window again. She had a new bruise on her cheek. Sangwoo felt anger for the first time in his life. Real, burning anger. He hit you? He didn't mean to. He's just stressed about the move. Brenda tried to smile, but it was weak. You can't keep doing this. You get hurt because of me. Stop saying that. Brenda grabbed his hands. You're worth it, Sangwoo. You're worth every risk, every punishment, every bruise. Don't you understand? You're the best thing that's happened to me since my mama died. Helping you gives me purpose. Sangwoo squeezed her hands. You the best thing happened to me ever. In my whole life. They held hands in that alley. 2 kids from completely different worlds, bound by something deeper than circumstance. The final week arrived too fast. Brenda came every day, sometimes twice a day, soaking up every moment. On the last day, she brought something special. Her mother's gold locket. Brenda, no. This is your mama's. You can't. I want you to have it. Her voice was firm despite the tears. It's the most important thing I own. I'm giving it to you, so you'll always remember. that someone believed in you. That someone saw you when it seemed like you were invisible. Sang-woo held the locket like it was made of glass. I promise I keep it safe. Forever. And I want you to promise me something else. Anything. Brenda looked at him seriously. Promise me you'll make something of yourself. Promise me you'll work hard, study, become successful. Not for money, but so you can help other kids like you, kids who thinks they are invisible. I promise. And Brenda's voice dropped to a whisper. When you're rich and successful, come find me. I'll be in California. Sang-woo felt something huge in his chest. At 8 years old, he didn't understand what he was feeling, but he knew it was important. I find you, no matter what. I promise. And he paused for a while. I'll marry you. Brenda smiled through tears and hugged him. They were kids. It was ridiculous. But in that moment, in that alley, it felt like the most serious promise either he had ever made. You promise? Brenda asked. I promise. Now I've got to work hard first. Because you deserve the best of the best. He said with all seriousness. If you find me, I'll marry you too, she said with the same seriousness. She laughed, trying to lighten the mood. Sang-woo laughed too. Even as tears streamed down his face. They hugged. A long, tight hug that felt like goodbye and promise all at once. I never forget you, Brenda Rowan. I'll never forget you, Sang-woo Hwang. She kissed his forehead, grabbed her empty backpack, and ran. Sang-woo watched her disappear around the corner. He opened the locket. Inside was a tiny photo of a beautiful black woman, Brenda's mother, and a photo of young Brenda, smiling. He closed it carefully, put it around his neck, tucked it under his shirt. That night, he made a vow. He would find her. He would become someone worthy of her faith. He would keep his promise. 19 years later, Sang-woo opened his eyes in his penthouse office. The locket hung around his neck, hidden under a custom Brioni suit. He was 28 years now, CEO of Hwang Technologies, the fastest-growing AI and facial recognition company in South Korea. Net worth 50 billion won, and climbing. He'd built everything from nothing. After Brenda left, Sang-woo had worked like a demon. He studied English every night until his eyes bled, saved every one from the food cart. At 12, he'd saved enough for Hagwon Private Academy. He studied 16 hours a day. Math, science, English, coding. At 14, he tested into Seoul Science High School on full scholarship, top of his class. Slept 4 hours a night, worked part-time jobs to eat. At 18, full scholarship to KAIST, Korea Advanced Institute of Science and Technology, majored in computer science and artificial intelligence. At 22, he graduated top of his program. At 24, he founded Hwang Technologies with 2 partners and one idea, facial recognition software that could find anyone. His partners thought it was about security, business applications. Only Sang-woo knew the real reason. He was looking for one face. Brenda Rowan. The company exploded. Within 3 years, their technology was used by security firms, airports, government agencies. Revenue hit billions. Sang-woo became one of the youngest billionaires in South Korea. But he didn't care about money except for what it could do. For 5 years, he'd been using his own technology, scanning databases, social media, public records, looking for her. California, Black American woman, age range 27 to 30, name Brenda Rowan, or married name unknown. 4.7 million faces scanned. 0 confirmed matches. She'd vanished. His phone buzzed again. His assistant, "Sir, the International Business Conference starts in an hour. You're scheduled to present keynote on AI applications." Sang-woo sighed. "I'll be there." He straightened his tie, grabbed his suit jacket. 6'2", golden blonde hair styled perfectly, muscular build from religious gym sessions. He'd transformed his body the same way he'd transformed his mind, with obsessive discipline. The conference was at the Grand Intercontinental in Gangnam. Massive event. Tech leaders from around the world. Sang-woo arrived, went through the motions. Handshakes, small talk, networking. His face was on autopilot. Until he walked past conference room B and heard a voice. American accent, female, familiar cadence. He stopped walking. The door was cracked open. A woman was presenting on Support Systems for International Military Families, Bridging Cultural Gaps. Sang-woo couldn't see her face from this angle, but something in his chest tightened. He pushed the door open slightly, and his world stopped. She stood at the front of the room. Black woman, late 20s, absolutely gorgeous. Slim, thick figure, curves that defied physics, professional navy dress that somehow made her look both authoritative and stunning, natural hair and a twist-out, full lips, confident presence. But it was the eyes that destroyed him. The same warm, kind eyes from 19 years ago. Brenda. His Brenda. Sang-woo gripped the doorframe. His heart was hammering so loud he was sure the entire room could hear it. She was presenting passionately about military kids, struggling to adapt, the need for better support systems, cultural sensitivity training. These children are invisible to most systems, she was saying. They move every 2 to 3 years, never putting down roots. They face discrimination, cultural barriers, identity crises. We need to see them, really see them. The same words, the same heart. Sang-woo couldn't move, couldn't breathe. When her presentation ended, the small audience applauded. About 30 people in the room. Brenda smiled, collected her materials. Sang-woo made a decision. He walked in. Several heads turned. People recognized him. Whispers started. That's Hwang Sang-woo, the CEO? What's he doing here? Brenda looked up. Their eyes met. She stared at him, confused, clearly wondering why a famous CEO was entering her small session. No recognition in her eyes. Of course not. He'd been a skinny 8-year-old street kid. Now he was a built, blonde, powerful businessman. Completely different. Sang-woo walked to the front as people filed out. Miss? He pretended not to know. Rowan. Brenda Rowan. She extended her hand professionally. I didn't expect someone like you to attend this session. Her hand in his. Warm. Real. After 19 years. Your presentation was compelling, he said, voice steady despite the chaos inside. I'm particularly interested in your work with military families. Oh? Do you have experience with military culture? Not directly, but I'm interested in supporting marginalized communities. Your insights about invisible children resonated. Brenda's expression shifted. Something flickered in her eyes. A distant memory, maybe? Thank you. That's the core of my work, making invisible people visible. Those exact words. Sang-woo's hand went unconsciously to his chest, where the locket rested under his shirt. Would you have time to discuss this further? Perhaps over coffee? Brenda hesitated. I appreciate the interest, Mr. Hwang, but I'm not looking for business partnerships or funding right now. This isn't about business. She raised an eyebrow. Then what is it about? How could he explain? How could he say, you saved my life 19 years ago and I've been searching for you ever since? I'd like to learn more about your work. Personal interest. Brenda studied him carefully. Why do I get the feeling there's more to this? Because she could still see people. Really see them. There is, but I'd prefer to explain somewhere private. Something in his voice must have conveyed sincerity because Brenda nodded slowly. There's a cafe downstairs. 30 minutes? I'll be there. 30 minutes later, Sang-woo sat across from Brenda in a quiet corner of the hotel cafe. She'd changed into more casual clothes. Jeans, fitted sweater that emphasized her incredible figure, ankle boots. She looked relaxed but guarded. So, Mr. Hwang. Sang-woo. Please. Sang-woo. She tested the name. Why are you really here? He pulled the locket from under his shirt. Brenda's eyes went wide. Her hand flew to her mouth. Where did you get that? Her voice was shaking. You gave it to me. 19 years ago. in an alley behind Seoul American Elementary School. All color drained from Brenda's face. She stared at the locket, then at him, then back at the locket. No, that's impossible. He was just a little boy. He was skinny, hungry, working for a hot-dog vendor named Mr. Park. Brenda stood up so fast her chair scraped. Sang-woo? He stood, too. Hello, Brenda. She covered her mouth with both hands. Tears streamed instantly. Oh my God, is it really you? He nodded. Brenda closed the distance, touched his face with trembling hands. You're so different. I grew up. You're alive. You're successful. She couldn't finish, just started sobbing. Sang-woo pulled her into his arms. She felt perfect. Right. I promised I'd find you, he whispered into her hair. I kept my promise. They stood there, holding each other. Two people who'd been separated by circumstances finally reunited. When they finally sat back down, neither could stop crying or smiling. Tell me everything, Brenda said. What happened after I left? Sang-woo told her. The years of studying, the hunger, the determination, building his company, using his technology to search for her. You built $1 billion company looking for me? I built it because of you. Everything I am is because you showed me I mattered. Brenda was shaking her head in disbelief. I just gave you food. No, you gave me hope. You gave me a reason to survive. Every night I'd look at this locket and think, I have to become someone worthy of her faith. Sang-woo, you were always worthy. I didn't know that until you showed me. They talked for 3 hours. Brenda told him about her life. After leaving Korea, her father had retired from military. They'd settled in Los Angeles. She'd struggled, felt guilty for leaving Sang-woo. She'd tried to find him but had no resources, no information. I thought about you every single day, she admitted. Wondered if you were okay, if you were eating, if you remembered me. I never stopped remembering. She'd gone to UCLA, studied social work and psychology, got her master's degree. Now she worked with military families, specifically helping kids navigate cultural transitions. Because of what I saw with you, she said, you were invisible to everyone. I didn't want any kid to feel that way. You saved hundreds of kids by saving me. Don't say that. You saved yourself. No, Sang-woo leaned forward. You planted the seed. Everything grew from that. Silence settled between them. Comfortable. Real. Then Brenda said softly, you remembered the promise. Every word. When I'm rich, I'll find you. And you promised that I'd marry you. She laughed, but it was nervous. We were kids. I meant it then. I mean it now. Brenda's breath caught. Sang-woo, we just reconnected. We don't actually know each other anymore. Then let me get to know you. Let me take you to dinner. Show you who I've become. Learn who you've become. I live in LA. You live in Seoul. I'll fly to LA, or you stay here, or we figure it out. Brenda, I spent 19 years looking for you. Distance means nothing. She studied his face. You're serious. Completely. Why? Why me? You're a billionaire. You could have anyone. Sang-woo took her hands. Because you're the only person who ever saw me when I was nothing. The only person who sacrificed for me expecting nothing back. You're the reason I believe in goodness. Brenda's tears fell again. This is insane. Is it? Or is it two people who connected deeply as children, separated by circumstances, finding their way back? I don't know if I'm ready for this. Then we go slow. One dinner. One conversation. See where it leads. Brenda hesitated, then nodded. One dinner. Sang-woo's face lit up. Tonight? She laughed. You don't waste time. I wasted 19 years. I'm not wasting another day. That night, Sang-woo took Brenda to the most exclusive restaurant in Seoul. Rooftop, city views, private table. She wore a black dress that made his brain malfunction. Curves, confidence, beauty that went beyond physical. They talked for hours. About everything. Dreams, Fears, hopes, losses. Brenda told him about her mother's death, how it had shaped her entire life. She told me I had a gift for seeing people. I didn't understand until I met you. Sang-woo told her about the loneliness, the hunger, the nights he'd wanted to give up. Your locket kept me alive. I'd hold it and remember someone cared. I cared so much. I got in so much trouble for you. I know. I'm sorry. Don't be. You were worth it. As the night deepened, so did the connection. Sang-woo asked, "Have you dated much?" Brenda smiled. Some. Nothing serious. I compare everyone to an 8-year-old Korean boy I met in an alley. Nobody measures up. His heart exploded. Really? You set an impossible standard, Sang-woo. How do you compete with someone who made such an impact? I could say the same. Every woman I've met, I think, would Brenda approve? Would she be proud of who I've become? They stared at each other across the table. This is crazy, Brenda whispered. Is it? We barely know each other as adults. Then let's change that. Over the next 2 weeks, Sang-woo cleared his schedule. Brenda extended her stay in Seoul. They spent every day together. He showed her his company, introduced her to his technology, showed her the facial recognition program he'd built. You really used this to find me? Every day, for 5 years. She was speechless. He showed her his penthouse. Minimalist, modern, expensive. But she noticed what wasn't there. No photos. No personal items. I was waiting. For what? For you. Brenda walked to the window, looked out at Seoul. Sang-woo, I need to be honest. This is overwhelming. You're overwhelming. He walked to her. Tell me what you need. I need to know this is real, that you're not just in love with the idea of me, the memory of a 10-year-old girl. You think I built a company hoping to find a memory? I think you romanticized a childhood connection. Sang-woo turned her to face him. You want to know what I see? I see a woman who dedicated her life to helping invisible kids, who faces discrimination and barriers but keeps fighting, who's smart, compassionate, strong, and absolutely breathtaking. He touched her face gently. I'm not in love with a memory, Brenda. I'm in love with who you became. You don't know me well enough to be in love. Then let me know you. Give me time. That's all I'm asking. Brenda closed her eyes. When she opened them, they were determined. Okay, but we do this right. No rushing, no pressure, no expectations. Deal. They shook hands, then laughed at the formality. Week 3. Sang-woo showed her his secret project. A foundation, still in planning stages. I want to create support systems for orphans and street kids in Korea. Comprehensive programs. Food, housing, education, mentorship. Brenda read through the plans, her eyes widening. This is incredible. It's because of you. You showed me what real help looks like. How much are you investing? 80 billion won for the first 3 years. Brenda nearly dropped the documents. That's like $60 million. Money is meaningless if I don't use it to help people you taught me to see. She stared at him. You really did become everything I believed you could be. Will you help me build it? What? I need someone who understands. Someone who's worked in social services, who knows what kids need. Be the program director. Sang-woo, I have a job, a life in LA. I know. I'm not asking you to abandon that. Consult. Help design the program. Whatever you can give. Brenda bit her lip. Let me think about it. Over the next weeks, their relationship deepened. They shared kisses, tentative at first, then passionate. Chemistry was undeniable. But Brenda kept her guard up. Why are you holding back? Sang-woo asked one night. They were at his penthouse, city lights sparkling below. Because this feels like a fairy tale. And fairy tales aren't real. What if this one is? Sang-woo, you're a billionaire. I'm a social worker who can barely afford rent in LA. We're from different worlds. He pulled her close. We were from different worlds as kids too. Didn't matter then. It matters now. Money changes things. Not for me. You want proof? He grabbed his laptop, showed her his financials, donations, charity work, programs he'd funded anonymously. I've given away 40% of my wealth. I live simply. Money is just a tool. Brenda scrolled through pages of donations, orphanages, schools, food banks, medical programs. You've been doing this for years. Because you taught me that having something means sharing it. She kissed him. Deep, meaningful. I'm falling for you, she whispered against his lips. And it terrifies me. Why? Because I don't want to lose you again. You won't. I promise. They made love that night. Slow, tender, meaningful. Two people who'd waited 19 years, finally coming together. Afterward, wrapped in each other's arms, Brenda traced the locket on his chest. You really never took this off? Never. It was my connection to you. I have a confession. What? I kept all your notes. Every single one you left me. Sang-woo sat up. What notes? You don't remember? You'd leave me little thank you notes written in broken English. Thank you for food. You are angel. I never forget you. He did remember. Barely. He'd been 8. His English terrible. I have them in a box in L.A. I've read them 1,000 times. They held each other tighter. Month 2. Brenda had to return to L.A. I want to be there with you, Sang-woo said immediately. You can't just leave your company. I can work remotely for a few weeks. I'm the CEO. I make the rules. Brenda laughed. You're impossible. I'm in love. She stopped laughing. Those 3 words hung in the air. Sang-woo. I love you, Brenda. I've loved you since I was 8 years old. I love you more now that I know the woman you've become. Brenda's eyes filled. This is moving so fast. 19 years isn't fast. She couldn't argue with that. I need time. I need to think about what this means for my life, my career, everything. Then think. I'll wait. I'll fly back and forth. Whatever you need. They kissed goodbye at the airport. Long, desperate, neither wanting to let go. I'll call you every day, Sang-woo promised. You better. He did. Every single day. Sometimes twice. Video calls, voice messages, texts that made her smile. Brenda returned to her small apartment in L.A. 1 bedroom, cramped, nothing like his penthouse. But it was hers. Her best friend Maya came over the night she got back. Girl, you've been gone 2 months. Spill everything. Brenda told her the whole story. The childhood connection, the reunion, everything. Maya's jaw dropped. Wait, the Hwang Sang-woo? The tech billionaire? You know him? Know him? He's been on Forbes, Asia's 30 Under 30, Tech Innovator of the Year. Girl, he's worth like $50 million. 47 billion won. It's more than that. Maya stared. And he's in love with you? Apparently. Because you fed him as a kid? It's more complicated than that. Is he hot? Brenda showed her photos. Maya nearly dropped her phone. That man is fine. Like K-pop idol fine. No, better than K-pop idol. He works out religiously. I can tell. Those arms. That chest. Girl, you better lock that down. Brenda laughed. It's not about his looks or money. Then what's it about? She thought about it. It's about being seen. Really seen. He sees me the way I saw him. Beyond surface, beyond circumstances. He sees my soul. Maya softened. That's beautiful. So what's the problem? I don't know if I can be with someone that wealthy, that different from my world. Brenda, you've dated broke guys, middle-class guys, even that doctor last year. None of them made you happy. This man flew across the world looking for you. He built a fortune thinking about you. He wants to build a charity with you. What's really holding you back? Brenda was quiet. I'm scared, she admitted. Scared it won't last. Scared I'll lose him. Scared I'm not enough. Not enough? Girl, you saved his life. You're more than enough. That night, Sang-woo called. I miss you already, he said. I miss you too. I've been thinking about us, about the future. Brenda's heart raced. And I want you to consult on the foundation. But more than that, I want you in my life, permanently. Sangwoo, I'm not proposing. Not yet. But I want you to know my intentions. When you're ready, I'm asking. When you're ready, I'm marrying you. I'm keeping the promise I made in that alley. Brenda was crying. You can't just say things like that. Why not? It's the truth. Because it makes me fall harder for you. Good. Week 3 apart, Brenda made a decision. She called Sangwoo. I'll consult on your foundation. Full-time for 6 months. You will? I requested a leave of absence from work. They approved it. I'm coming back to Seoul. Sangwoo's joy was audible through the phone. When? 2 weeks. I need to pack. Arrange things. I'll send a plane. Sangwoo, I can buy my own ticket. I know you can. But let me do this. Please. She smiled. Okay. Send the plane. 2 weeks later, Brenda returned to Seoul. Sangwoo met her at the airport with flowers. Not expensive roses. Simple daisies. Her favorite. You remembered. I remember everything about you. He'd arranged an apartment for her. Not his penthouse. A separate place in the same building. I want you close, but I respect your space, he explained. The apartment was beautiful. Modern, spacious, fully furnished. Sangwoo, this is too much. It's yours for as long as you're here. No strings. She kissed him. Thank you. The next day, they started work on the foundation. Brenda met with architects, social workers, child psychologists, educators. Together they designed a comprehensive program. The Haven Initiative, named for the safe harbor they wanted to provide. The program included transitional housing for street kids and orphans, small apartment-style units, fully furnished, designed to feel like home, not institutions. Educational support, tutoring, hagwon fees, school supplies, everything a kid needed to succeed academically. Mental health services, trauma counseling, support groups, therapy, addressing the psychological damage, poverty, and abandonment caused. Job training programs, teaching skills, helping with employment, providing internships at partner companies. Mentorship, pairing each child with a caring adult who checked in regularly. Most importantly, dignity, treating every child like they mattered. Brenda threw herself into the work. She interviewed kids currently on the streets, understanding their needs. One boy, Min-jun, age 9, reminded her viscerally of young Sangwoo. Thin, scared, working at a restaurant washing dishes for meals. Hi Min-jun, I'm Brenda. Can we talk? The boy looked terrified. She knelt down to his level. You're not in trouble. I just want to help. Why? Because I once helped me help a boy just like you, and it turned out great. Min-jun's eyes widened. Brenda got him into the program. Housing, food, school enrollment, therapy. Watching Min-jun thrive over the next weeks brought her to tears. You okay? Sangwoo asked, finding her crying in her office. Min-jun got an A on his math test, his first A ever. Sangwoo pulled her into his arms. You're changing his life. We are. Together. The foundation officially launched 4 months after Brenda arrived. The press conference was massive. Korean and international media. Sangwoo stood at the podium, looking impossibly handsome in a navy suit. The Haven Initiative exists because 19 years ago, a little girl showed me that one person's kindness can change everything. He gestured to Brenda standing beside him. Brenda Rowan saved my life when I was 8 years old and had nothing. She gave me food, hope, and a reason to believe I mattered. Everything I've built, I built thinking about her. This foundation is my way of passing on what she gave me. The cameras flashed. Reporters shouted questions. Mr. Huang, is it true you've been searching for Miss Rowan for 5 years? Yes. And you found her how? She came to me. The universe brought us back together. Are you two in a relationship? Sang-woo looked at Brenda. She nodded slightly. Yes, we are. The room erupted. Romantic billionaire finds childhood savior. The headlines wrote themselves. After the press conference, Brenda pulled him aside. You just announced our relationship to the entire world. Is that okay? It's terrifying and perfect. He kissed her, right there, in front of lingering reporters. The photo went viral. Korean tech billionaire kisses Black American social worker. A love story decades in the making. The foundation's first cohort included 37 kids, ages 6 to 16. Brenda worked with each personally, learning their stories, their dreams, their fears. Ji-woo, age 7. Parents died in a fire. Severe trauma. So-yoon, age 14, ran away from abusive foster home. Trust issues. Tae-young, age 11, abandoned at a hospital. Anger problems. Each child carried wounds. Brenda helped them heal. Sang-woo funded everything but let Brenda run operations completely. You know what these kids need better than I do? He said. One evening, 6 months into the program, Sang-woo invited Brenda to the original alley. The alley behind Seoul American Elementary School where they'd met. It looked different, cleaner. The school had expanded. But the spot where 8-year-old Sang-woo had collapsed was the same. Why are we here? Brenda asked. Sang-woo took her hands. 19 years ago, I sat right there, counting coins, starving, ready to give up. Then you appeared. You gave me food, but more importantly, you gave me hope. He pulled out a small box. Brenda's breath caught. I made you a promise in this alley. I said I'd get rich and marry you. I'm halfway there. He opened the box. Inside was a ring. Not ostentatious. A simple gold band with a small ruby, red, like the ribbon of her mother's locket. Brenda Rowan, will you marry me? Brenda was crying, shaking. Sang-woo, I know we've only been together officially for 6 months, but I've loved you for 19 years. I know you're the only person I want to spend my life with. I know you see me, really see me, the way nobody else ever has. He was crying too now. You taught me that I matter, that kindness can change the world, that one person caring can create ripple effects beyond imagination. I want to spend the rest of my life proving to you that you made the right choice, saving me. Brenda pulled him up, cupped his face. You don't need to prove anything. You already became everything I believed you could be. Is that a yes? She kissed him. Deep, passionate, tears mixing. Yes, yes, I'll marry you. Sang-woo slipped the ring on her finger. Perfect fit. They held each other in that alley, the place where everything started. I kept my promise, he whispered. So did I. The wedding happened 6 months later. Small, intimate ceremony. Just close friends and family. Brenda wore a simple white dress. Elegant, beautiful, her curves highlighted perfectly. Sang-woo wore a classic black tux, could barely take his eyes off her. The venue was outdoors, cherry blossoms in full bloom, Seoul spring at its finest. They'd chosen to have the ceremony at the Haven Initiative's main campus, surrounded by the kids they were helping. Min-jun was the ring bearer, 9 years old, thriving, smiled the whole time. Maya flew from LA to be Brenda's maid of honor. Sang-woo's business partner, Jae-hyun, was best man. The officiant asked, Do you, Sang-woo Hwang, take Brenda Rowan to be your wife? I do. I've been waiting 19 years to say that. Laughter rippled through the crowd. Do you, Brenda Rowan, take Sang-woo Hwang to be your husband? I do. I'd wait 19 more years if I had to. More laughter, more tears. You may kiss your bride. Sang-woo pulled Brenda close, kissed her thoroughly. Cheers erupted. At the reception, Sang-woo gave a speech. 19 years ago, I was nobody. A street kid eating from trash cans, invisible to the world. Then this incredible woman saw me, fed me, believed in me, saved my life. He looked at Brenda, eyes shining. Everything I am because of her. Every success, every achievement, every good thing I've done is because she showed me I was worthy of love. Today, I get to officially spend my life loving her back. Brenda gave her speech through tears. When I was 10, my mama died. She told me before she passed, "Baby girl, you have a gift for seeing people." I didn't understand until I met Sang-woo. He was dying in that alley, and everyone walked past him. But I saw him. She grabbed Sang-woo's hand. Saving him saved me too. It gave me purpose, showed me what I was meant to do with my life. Help invisible people become visible. He didn't just build a company, he built a movement. And I get to be part of it. I get to love him. I'm the luckiest woman alive. They kissed again. Long, deep, meaningful. The party lasted until midnight. Dancing, food, joy. At the end of the night, Sang-woo and Brenda walked through the Haven campus. Kids were asleep in their apartments, safe, fed, cared for. "We did this," Brenda whispered. "You did this. I just provided resources. We did it together." They stood watching the building, lights glowing warm. "You know what I think about?" Sang-woo said. "What?" 8-year-old me, sitting in that alley, hopeless. If I could tell him that this is his future, that he'd marry the angel who saved him, that he'd save hundreds of other kids, he wouldn't believe it. What would you tell him? That holding on was worth it, that someone was coming, that he mattered. Brenda rested her head on his shoulder. "You've always mattered." 1 year after their wedding, Brenda announced she was pregnant. Sang-woo cried for an hour straight. "We're having a baby? We're having a baby." He picked her up, spun her around carefully. "I'm going to be a father. The best father." Pregnancy transformed Brenda. Already gorgeous, she became radiant. Sang-woo worshipped her, attended every appointment, read every book, built a nursery in their new home. They'd moved to a house in Gangnam, large enough for a family, warm, filled with photos, memories, love. Nothing like Sang-woo's sterile penthouse. This was a home. 7 months into the pregnancy, they learned they were having a girl. "A daughter," Sang-woo whispered, hand on Brenda's belly. "What should we name her?" He thought about it. "Hope, because that's what your mother gave me. Hope." Brenda cried, "Hope Hwang! It's perfect!" Baby Hope arrived in spring, cherry blossoms blooming again. 8 pounds, healthy, beautiful, perfect mix of both parents. Caramel skin, Sang-woo's eyes, Brenda's nose. Sang-woo held his daughter for the first time and broke down completely. "Hi, baby girl. I'm your appa. I promise I'll never let you feel invisible. I'll always see you, always love you, always protect you." Brenda watched her husband cradle their daughter, both crying. "You're going to be an amazing father. I learned from the best. Your mother's locket, your kindness, everything you taught me, I'm passing it to her." The Haven Initiative continued to grow. By their daughter's first birthday, they'd helped 247 children. 15 graduated high school. 8 were in university. 23 had stable jobs. 0 had returned to the streets. The program expanded to Busan, then Daegu, then Incheon. Other countries started reaching out. Japan wanted to replicate it. Thailand, Philippines. Brenda became an international speaker on child welfare. Sang-woo's company continued thriving, but he spent less time there, more time with family and foundation work. Money meant nothing compared to watching Min-jun graduate middle school top of his class, or seeing Ji-woo overcome her trauma and smile again, or watching So-yoon trust adults for the first time. On Hope's second birthday, they threw a party at the Haven campus. All the kids attended. Massive celebration. Hope toddled around, playing with older kids who adored her. Sang-woo found Brenda watching from the side. Happy. Beyond happy, this is everything I dreamed of. He wrapped his arms around her from behind. "Remember when you said fairy tales aren't real?" "I remember." "Were you wrong?" Brenda turned in his arms. Completely wrong. This is better than any fairy tale. They watched Hope play, watched the kids laugh, watched the sunset paint Seoul golden. Thank you, Sangwoo said softly. For what? For seeing me when I was invisible, for saving my life, for loving me, for building this with me, for hope, for everything. Brenda kissed him. Thank you for keeping your promise. Always. 5 years after their wedding, a journalist requested an interview. Documentary about the Haven Initiative's impact. Sangwoo and Brenda agreed. They sat together in their home, Hope playing nearby with her baby brother, Jun. The journalist asked, "What would you say to people who think one person can't make a difference?" Brenda smiled. I'd say, look at Sangwoo. I was just a 10-year-old girl who shared her lunch, but that one choice created ripple effects I never imagined. He built a company, a foundation, changed hundreds of lives, all because I chose to care. Sangwoo added, and I'd say, look at the kids in our program. One caring adult can change a child's entire trajectory. We've seen it happen 386 times now. One person absolutely can make a difference. What advice would you give to young people struggling right now? Sangwoo's voice was serious. Hold on. I know it's dark. I know you feel invisible. I know you're hungry, scared, alone. But someone out there will see you. Someone will care. Your Brenda is coming. Hold on long enough to meet them. Brenda added, and if you're someone who has something to give, anything, even if it seems small, give it. You never know whose life you'll change. A sandwich changed the world. Your small act might too. The documentary aired nationally, then internationally. The Haven Initiative received applications from 17 countries wanting to replicate the model. Donations flooded in, enough to expand to 30 cities across Asia. The ripple effects continued. 10 years after their wedding, Sangwoo and Brenda stood in the original alley again. It was now a memorial site. A plaque read, "Where kindness began," where one girl saved one boy and changed thousands of lives. The alley was beautiful now. Murals painted on walls, flower boxes, a small garden, a bench where people could sit and reflect. Can you believe it's been 10 years? Brenda asked. Best 10 years of my life. They had 3 children now, Hope, Jun, and baby Maya, named after Brenda's best friend. The Haven Initiative had helped 1,847 children across 12 countries. Sangwoo had given away 75% of his wealth to charity. But the numbers didn't matter. What mattered was Minjun, now 19, studying engineering at Seoul National University on full scholarship. What mattered was Ji-woo, age 17, trauma-healed, thriving. What mattered was So-yoon, age 24, working as a counselor at the Haven, helping kids like she'd been. The cycles of kindness continued. As they sat on the memorial bench, a young girl approached, maybe 7 years old, dirty clothes, scared eyes. "Excuse me," she said in Korean. "Are you the people from the Haven?" Brenda knelt down. "Yes, sweetheart. What's your name?" "Hana. I'm hungry, and I have nowhere to sleep." Sangwoo and Brenda looked at each other, hearts breaking and soaring simultaneously. "Come with us, Hana," Brenda said gently. "Let's get you some food." They walked Hana to the nearest Haven location, got her fed, bathed, safe, enrolled her in the program. That night, tucking their own children into bed, Sangwoo said to Brenda, "It never stops, does it? Kids needing help." "No, but that's why we're here, to make sure they're seen. Just like you saw me. Just like I saw you." They kissed goodnight, held each other close. Outside, Seoul sparkled. Millions of lights, millions of stories. And somewhere in that city, Hana slept in a safe bed for the first time in months. Fed, warm, visible. Because 2 people fell in love in an alley 19 years ago. Because one girl chose to share her lunch. Because kindness multiplies. 25-year-old Min Jun, now a successful engineer, standing in the same alley. He's holding a small boy's hand. The boy is crying, hungry, scared. It's okay, Minjun says gently. I was just like you once. Come on, let me get you some food. The cycle continues. Forever. If you're watching this and struggling, please don't give up. Your story isn't over. Someone will see you. Help is coming. Hold on. If you're watching this and you have something to give, please share it. You might save a life. You might change the world. A sandwich changed soul. What will you give? Subscribe if this story touched you. Share this with someone who needs hope today. Comment and tell us about a time someone's kindness changed your life. Don't forget to hit the notification bar so you don't miss more heartwarming stories like this. Let's spread kindness together. Your Sangwoo might be waiting. Your Brenda might be searching. Love keeps its promises. Always.